discussing about this trending movie which everybody has really been talking about. So it's a movie none other than ANIKULAPO MOVIE, which was produced by the great KUNLE AFOLAYAN. And we know KUNLE AFOLAYAN is someone that doesn't produce movie anyhow. He doesn't just make movies anyhow. He makes movie on demand, like he make good movies rather, not music. He make good movies on demand, and it has been great. You know, a lot of these cast have been online saying a lot of stuff about their role, their character in the movie. You know, there was a time Bimbo Ademoye talked about her own, talked about her character. You know, Taiwo Azam was online. She talked about her character also. Aisha Lawal did also, and a lot of guys. And we knew KUNLE AFOLAYAN just appeared twice in the movie. He appeared twice in the 2 scenes in the movie. So KUNLE Remi has to just say, what he felt about this movie. He said ANIKULAPO is the most challenging movie he has ever done. So I think probably he has something to say about this, and because he was the major role in this movie, and he actually has done so well, you know, from the costume, from the way he behaves, and a lot of that. So, you know, actor KUNLE Remi has said that KUNLE AFOLAYAN's ANIKULAPO is currently the most challenging movie he has ever done. The 33-year-old said this in a recent Instagram live session, where he also talked about the challenges he faced while filming and on-screen chemistry with his co-lead Bimbo Ademoye. It's just learning that these two guys are the major lead of this movie. Bimbo Ademoye and KUNLE Remi are the major cast of this movie, and they are the one that took the major place in this work. So during this interview, he said this is definitely the most challenging movie I've ever done yet, because I know there will be other movies, but for now this is the one I have done, and it's so challenging for me. He said, speaking on the challenges, KUNLE said, first, I had to speak a language I was not comfortable speaking. I had to climb mountains. I have to go into the river. You know, there was a time when they went to the rivers, when they were moving in the forest where he was thrown when he was beaten, when they had issue with the king's wife, you know, where he was caught, same with his king's wife. He said, actually, we did not know what was beneath the river. It was a risk, but we got into the river. You see, Bimbo, she's a beast. Wow, that's a big compliment for Bimbo Ademoye. He said, I weigh 100 kg, and I pulled all of that weight on Bimbo, and I said, sorry, I'm doing this. And she said, she was like, let's go. That's why you feel the pain Arolake felt. She held me up, I gave her everything, and she gave me everything in return. Set in the 17th century Oyo Empire, the movie star actor like KUNLE Remi, Bimbo Ademoye, Shola Ale, Akim Kis, Kazim, Taiwo Azam, Fitia Williams, and Adebayo Salami. So, you know, there are still a lot of other cast like Moji Afolayan, Karim Adepoju, Yinka Quadri, Aisha Lawal, Rokpo Ewelewa, Adewale Lesho, Sunday Wambalane, and Tony Afolayan. You know, so when watching this movie, you can actually see that a very big role this guy played in the movie. It was not something very easy, you know. He said speaking the language he was not used to, you know, speaking the Yoruba language. And you know, this movie is the base. It's an indigenous movie, critically based on Yoruba. There is no way you can complement anything with the English language also. So you have to speak Yoruba, you have to speak a Kong Yoruba, and you have to make it a dialect of the country. He said, the community he said he came from, you know, is Saro, which is known as KUNLE Remi. He said he came from Bogon, and he went to Oyo State to reside as a cloth weaver. You know, he has to just make it real, speaking and speaking languages, like speaking the dialect in a way that people will accept that actually is from the place. So, you know, for him to have to sit down and get all these makeups on his face and stuff like that, and you know, taking some parts in the movie that looks so disgusting. You know, have to make a lot of makeup when he was being beaten by the guards of the king, when he was caught sleeping with the with the king's wife, Bimbo Ademoye. So this is just a major challenging movie, and the part where he was saying they were in the river, they don't know actually what is in the river. That's a bit very hard. It's very hard for them to do, because when they're in the forest, there will be a lot of guys in the forest there. There'll be the production manager, there will be a lot of guys, makeup, and so there they were still they were still comfortable. But when they were moving in the water, it was real. It was not actually just a very small water. It's a real water, and it's there's no camera that can go into the water to check probably what's happening or what is going on at the moment. So they have to just read this, and they are doing this all in the name of love they have for making movies and doing movies. So complimenting Bimbo Ademoye is something very great, and something very great. It's something very sweet, because she actually killed the role. Also, it's so sweet seeing her performing her, taking the major role with Kunle Remi. Probably we will be wondering what we wish to see a major role which was being held, or which was taken by both of them. And I want to just check how these guys are going to kill this role again, like the way they normally do, the way they did in this movie, Kunle Afolayan's movie. People that have not checked this movie, it's worth checking, and it's worth looking for, because it talks more about the tradition. It talks about much about the ethnics. If you want to know much about your state, you want to know some story about the Ifa, because it was said in the movie that during those days people were not buried. Before the colonial master came to the country, they used to bury people. They used to throw them in a forest. So there was a bird that would come to them to wake them up when they are dead. It brings some up, and some might not end up waking up. So it seems like some people that are not yet meant to be dead, or so the bird will have to wake them up. So this movie is very interesting, and almost all these things were natural, or they were real, and I felt it's worth it for Kunle Remi to say is this was the best, and this was his toughest movie for him, because this guy that is a great guy in Nollywood, but he featured most in English movies and not Yoruba movies. But now he has to just take a character of a Yoruba guy, an indigenous guy, and he has to just make it real, and he tried all his best to make the role perfect, and he killed the role. So do not forget to subscribe to our channel if you're a new viewer. Thank you so much, and do not forget to check this movie on Netflix. I am very sure you enjoy this when you're watching the movie, because all this is just said on our channel. You can check most of our posts. We discuss much about this movie. Thank you so much.